Jim Klauck, aka Checker Pro Joe, here on the Checker Pro radio show. This show can be heard and seen worldwide. And I have my favorite attic efficiency guy. I've known this guy for a long time. His name is Adam Greer from the Wise Attic. Adam, how are you?
I'm doing great. You're making me blush, but hey, I'm good.
Well, you're
How
gonna
are you?
match you'll match your shirt now. Honestly, I do love what you do, and I love the passion you have for it. So it's one thing to be a provider of insulation and ventilation. That's just a job. A company can supply that. But it's different when someone's gone as far as writing a book about it and caring so much for their customers about it. And that's really why I love what you do, because no matter what you do in anything you've done in home service, you've put the customer first.
Yes, that is in all that I do. I want
Mm.
to put, another company as well. It doesn't matter what I'm doing. Customer people are first.
Yep, and I just wanted to get that out there out front to let people know the kind of person you are. So a question has come in, why the attic is the most overlooked space in the home. So someone says, "Why is that?" And, it's interesting because a lot of people don't go in their attic. They know what an attic is, they think they have one, and they think there might be some utilities up there, but they're not so sure. What's the answer to the question?
There's really all kinds of ways to go about this, but the biggest thing is just out of sight, out of mind.
Mhm.
Myself, I came from California. I grew up on the West Coast. I knew there was something above my ceiling, but we never even considered attics. I never went in one ever in my whole California history. And even a lot of our houses in California they're off the ground, so we have a crawl space under the home for our utilities, things like that. So a lot of Californians have moved to Texas, right? But I think that's a lot of people just come to Texas. There's an attic. Who cares? Who knows?
Mm.
It's just something you don't think about, and you just once in a while you get your HVAC guy up there to fix it so you're not hot. But that's the biggest thing is it's just out of sight, out of mind. We don't consider inspections. It should have a yearly inspection just like everything else. It's one of those things that, water leaks, you don't know it's a leak till your ceiling's got a stain on it. Well, there was inspections, regular maintenance, then you would know before it becomes a bigger problem. But it's up there. It's that dark dungeon that nobody goes into and wants to go into. So
A lot of people think it might be a place to store things. I wouldn't recommend that in our climate. It really is an active, space.
it's an active furnace.
Well, yes. Um, if it's designed properly, it is designed to have ventilation, and it can be passive ventilation or it can be active ventilation, but either way, ambient air from the outside of your home needs to, at some rate, and there's mathematics behind this, I know you know the formulas, at some rate, that air should be exchanged, because when you go into your attic and it's 138 degrees in the attic or hotter, but it's only 95 outside, that's a problem.
Yeah. Yeah, you want as many air exchanges in the attic per hour as you possibly can get. And so every different type of from static to mechanical exchanges a certain amount of air. And you just have to go in, figure out what the square footage is, what the height is. You have to do all these figures and then decide how much air needs to really move to that attic and then provide the appropriate ventilation system. And the most standard is ridge vents. Rippers love it. But that is the worst ventilation that's out there as far as efficiency.
Mhm.
So it's just low circulation. And so, obviously we recommend installing fans, mechanical, and we use solar fans specifically. And so, for example, our 30-watt solar fan exchanges air 30, sorry, 6 times per hour.
Mm.
And that's a lot of air movement through there. And you can potentially have that ambient temperature, be within 10, 15 degrees of the ambient temperature in the attic versus 140, 150 if you're not moving the air. So a lot involved, but getting the air in there is your biggest combator against the attic efficiency.
Yep, and I have one of those 30-watt solar attic fans, and, it runs every day automatically. It has a humidistat, a thermostat, automatically comes on at night. It shuts down because there is no solar power, which is fine, though, because we're cool at night. It's a great product. Before we finish with this segment, on top of the ventilation, we now need to talk about insulation quickly and why that's important because you can have all the ventilation you want, but in our climate here in Texas, there's so much heat that wants to penetrate into the house. So you
Right.
need some fluffy stuff. Talk about that quickly.
Yeah, you want a buffer between your living space and your attic space.
Mm,
Really, that's what insulation is. It's a heat sponge. And so, and before the technology of good mechanical ventilation, it used to just put as much insulation as you can, keep the heat from coming in your house. So now the combination of get rid of the heat, it lets your insulation work. It takes the load off your insulation. So instead of needing 20 inches to keep the heat out, maybe you only need 10 inches, for example. And I'm just throwing numbers out there. But the idea of putting more in there is no longer necessarily the right call. It's what's the best combination to make efficiency in your home.
yeah. Um, what you do is amazing. People have to understand that there is a life beyond their ceiling in the attic. It's not just full of creepy, scary things like goblins. So I suggest everyone call Adam and his team from the Wise Attic to have them come out and take a look.
Yes, that would be our pleasure to help.
Thank you so much, my friend. I appreciate you joining me today on the program.
Thank you. It's good. Thanks being here.